Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast, empty field. The air is still, and all around you, there's silence. You know there's something out there for you, a goal, a purpose, a life you've dreamed of, but right now it feels far away. Now imagine a crowd gathering behind you, murmuring, questioning, doubting. What's your plan? They ask. Where are you going? Their voices grow louder. They want answers. They want details. They want you to explain every step of your journey before you've even taken the first one. And in that moment, a question rises in your mind. Do I owe them an explanation? You know, I've been there. I've stood on that edge too, with people behind me asking the same questions. Born without arms or legs, I've spent my entire life facing questions. People asking me what I could do, what I would do, how I could possibly live a life of purpose. I was told I'd never walk, never write, never hold my wife's hand, never cradle my children, never stand on a stage and inspire millions. Those were the predictions the world made about me. They wanted to put me in a box, to define me before I even had the chance to define myself. And for a long time, I tried to fight back with words. I wanted to convince them that I could. I wanted to explain, to prove, to defend myself. But you know what I realized? Words don't change minds. Actions do. You don't have to tell people who you are or what you're capable of. You just have to show them. You don't have to defend your dreams or explain your plans. You just have to live them. And when you do, your actions will speak so loudly that no one will be able to ignore them. Think about your own life. How many times have you felt the pressure to explain yourself? Maybe it was a dream you shared with someone who didn't understand it. Maybe it was a choice you made that others questioned. Maybe it was a failure that others were too quick to judge, and in those moments you felt the weight of their opinions pressing down on you. You felt the need to justify, to defend, to prove them wrong. But here's the truth, their opinions don't define you. Their doubts don't limit you. And their understanding or lack of it has no bearing on your ability to succeed. There's a power in keeping your goals to yourself. There's a strength in moving in silence, in working quietly, in letting your results speak for you. When you stop telling people what you're going to do and start showing them what you've already done, the game changes. Suddenly you're not seeking validation, you're earning respect. You're not trying to convince anyone of your potential, you're proving it with every step you take. Let me tell you a story. When I was a child, I struggled with more than just physical limitations. I struggled with the way people looked at me, the way they talked about me, the way they assumed they knew what my life would be like. Every time I stepped out into the world, I felt like I was being watched, judged, underestimated. And for a while, I let that stop me. I let their opinions hold me back. I thought, if they can't see my potential, maybe it's not there, but one day something changed. I realized that the only person who could define my life was me. The only voice that truly mattered was the one inside my heart, the one telling me to keep going no matter what. So I stopped talking about what I wanted to do. I stopped trying to convince people that I could live a full, meaningful life, and I started living it. I started taking action. I started showing them day by day what I was capable of. And you know what happened? The same people who doubted me started to believe. The same people who dismissed me started to pay attention. And the same people who said I couldn't started to see that I could. Not because I told them, but because I showed them. That's the power of action. It speaks louder than words ever could. It cuts through the noise, the doubt, the criticism, and it says, here I am, watch me. Now let's talk about you. What's holding you back from taking action? Is it fear? Doubt? The opinions of others? Maybe you're afraid of failing? Maybe you're worried about what people will think. Maybe you're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect set of circumstances. But let me tell you something, there's no such thing as perfect. The only thing that matters is that you start. Start small, start messy, start uncertain, but start. And once you do, don't waste your energy explaining yourself to others. Don't worry about whether they understand or approve. Just keep moving forward. Because here's the truth: growth happens in the quiet. Success is built in the moments when no one's watching. The work you put in when the world isn't paying attention, that's what sets you apart. Think of the strongest trees in the forest. They don't grow overnight. They spend years developing roots, digging deep, finding stability, and all that time no one sees the roots. No one notices the growth happening beneath the surface. But one day those trees stand tall, unshakable, undeniable. That's how success works. It doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the shadows, in the quiet, in the places where only you can see it. So my challenge to you is to stop explaining, stop justifying. Stop seeking validation. Instead, let your actions do the talking. Let your results tell the story. Work hard, stay focused. Keep moving forward step by step, day by day. And when the time comes, when your work speaks for itself, world will notice, because when you do, the world won't just hear your story, they'll feel it. They'll see it in the way you live, the way you love, the way you persevere. And that, my friend, is the loudest, most powerful statement of all. When you have a vision or a dream, there's an almost instinctive urge to share it. It's as though saying it out loud solidifies its existence, like shouting it into the universe makes it more real. That urge is powerful, and it stems from a blend of emotional, psychological, and societal influences that have shaped the way we communicate and view ambition. Humans crave connection. At the core of our existence is a need to belong, to be understood, and to be seen. When you tell someone your plans, it often feels like you're forging a connection. You're sharing a piece of your soul, something that's deeply important to you, and inviting them to validate it. It's like extending a hand and hoping they'll grasp it with excitement and encouragement. This is the emotional high of sharing, the boost that comes when someone says, "That's amazing, you can do it." But this need for validation, while natural, can be dangerous. It's easy to mistake someone's approval for progress. When others affirm your plans, it feels good, so good, in fact, that it can replace the drive to act. The mind is tricky like that. It rewards you for sharing your dreams as if the act of speaking about them is an accomplishment in itself. This is where many people fall into a trap. They spend so much time talking about their goals that they lose the urgency to actually pursue them. Sharing plans isn't just about validation, though. It's also about reassurance. Deep down, many of us carry doubts about our ability to succeed. We wonder if we're good enough, strong enough, smart enough. By telling others what we're going to do, we're seeking a kind of preemptive reassurance. If they agree with our plans, if they believe in us, it quiets that inner voice of doubt, at least temporarily. It's a way of seeking permission to dream. But here's the catch: no one else can give you permission. That has to come from within. External reassurance is like a band-aid on a deep wound. It doesn't address the root of the issue. Another factor driving the urge to share is the societal pressure to announce your intentions. We live in a world that celebrates transparency. People are encouraged to put themselves out there, to share their goals publicly as a sign of ambition and accountability. This has only been amplified by social media. Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn create the illusion that sharing your goals is synonymous with making progress. You see someone post, "I'm starting my fitness journey," or "big things coming soon," and it feels like they're already ahead of the curve. There's a subtle pressure to keep up, to declare your own intentions so you don't fall behind in this public race. The dangers of sharing prematurely don't end there. Every time you tell someone your plans, you open the door to opinions, some of which may not be helpful. Even well-meaning advice can derail you. Imagine sharing a business idea with a friend who starts poking holes in it. What about the competition? Do you really think there's a market for that? Their doubts, even if they're valid, can plant seeds of hesitation in your mind. And then there are the outright critics, the ones who dismiss your dreams or laugh at your ambitions. Their negativity can sap your motivation before you've even begun. There's also a hidden pressure that comes with sharing your goals. Once people know what you're working toward, they may start asking for updates. How's that project coming along? Or when are you launching? While accountability can be a good thing, it can also create unnecessary stress. If your timeline shifts or if you encounter setbacks, the fear of disappointing others can weigh heavily on you. Instead of adjusting your plans to fit reality, you might rush or compromise just to meet expectations. This is a subtle but significant way that sharing your plans can backfire. Another layer to consider is the psychological impact of oversharing. When you talk about your plans, your brain feels rewarded almost as if you've already accomplished something. This phenomenon, known as social reality, tricks the mind into believing that speaking about a goal is a step toward achieving it. But words are not actions. The more you talk, the less urgency you feel to actually do the work. It's a paradox. The more you share, the less progress you might make. There's a societal angle to this as well. From a young age, we're taught to value openness and transparency. Teachers, mentors, and even self-help books often encourage us to share our goals as a way of holding ourselves accountable. While this can work in some contexts, it's not always the best approach. Sharing too early can expose your plans to scrutiny before they've had a chance to take root. It's like planting a seed and then constantly digging it up to show people that it's growing. The seed needs time, darkness, and quiet to thrive. Moreover, we live in a world that celebrates instant results. Social media feeds are filled with highlight reels, people sharing their successes, milestones, and big announcements. It creates the illusion that everyone else is progressing faster than you. This can lead to a sense of urgency to share your own plans just to feel like you're keeping up. But this comparison trap is dangerous. It shifts your focus from your own journey to the journeys of others, which can leave you feeling inadequate or distracted. At its core, the urge to share comes from a place of wanting to be understood. When you have a vision, it's deeply personal. It's tied to your identity and your sense of purpose. Sharing it feels like opening a window into your soul, inviting others to see and understand the part of you that's striving for more, but not everyone will understand. And that's okay. Your dreams don't need validation to be valid. They don't need approval to be worthy. The only person who needs to understand your vision is you. Understanding why we feel the need to share our plans is the first step toward breaking the cycle. It's about recognizing that while sharing may feel good in the moment, it often doesn't serve the long-term goal. By choosing not to share, you preserve your energy, protect your vision, and maintain control over your narrative. You free yourself from the pressure of opinions, the burden of expectations, and the distraction of validation. And in doing so, you create the space to grow, to build, and to achieve, not for the applause, but for yourself. Silence is one of the most underestimated tools in achieving success. In a world that constantly encourages us to speak up, announce our intentions, and share every step of our journey, silence offers a counterintuitive but powerful strategy for focused growth and resilience. The less you say about what you're doing, the more energy you retain to pour into the actual work. Silence is not about hiding, it's about protecting your dreams from distractions, doubts, and unnecessary noise. When you keep your plans to yourself, you maintain a sense of control over your journey. Silence acts as a shield, guarding your ambitions from external influences. Every time you share your intentions, you give others a chance to voice their opinions, some of which may be helpful, but many of which are unnecessary. Not everyone sees the world the way you do. Not everyone will understand your vision or your methods. By keeping quiet, you sidestep the risk of being influenced by someone else's doubts, negativity, or misunderstandings. There's a certain discipline in staying silent. It forces you to rely on yourself, to draw strength from within rather than seeking it from outside. When you don't talk about your goals, you're not distracted by the need for validation or approval. You learn to trust your instincts, to believe in your path, even when no one else knows about it. This self-reliance builds resilience because you're not dependent on others to keep you motivated. You're driven by your own desire to succeed. Silence also creates space for action. Talking about your plans can be satisfying. It feels like progress, but it's not the same as doing the work. When you stay quiet, you free up the mental energy that would have been spent explaining, justifying, or defending your ideas. Instead, that energy can be channeled into actually building, creating, and growing. This is where real progress happens, not in the conversations about what you're going to do, but in the quiet moments when you're putting in the effort. Another advantage of silence is that it allows you to move without interference. When people don't know what you're working on, they can't get in your way. They can't get away. They can't sabotage your efforts intentionally or unintentionally. They can't offer advice that pulls you off track or distract you with their own agendas. Silence keeps you focused on your path, free from the noise and drama of external input. The power of silence becomes even more evident when you consider how it affects perception. People are naturally curious. When you don't share your plans, you create a sense of mystery. This intrigue can be a powerful tool, especially in competitive environments. When others don't know what you're working on, they can't prepare for it, copy it, or criticize it. Your silence becomes an advantage, giving you the time and space to perfect your craft without interference. On a deeper level, silence is a form of humility. It's a way of saying, I don't need to talk about what I'm doing because I'm focused on doing it. It's about letting your results speak for themselves rather than relying on words to make an impression. This approach not only commands respect, but also builds credibility. When you finally achieve your goals, people will be impressed by the work you've done, not by the promises you made. Silence also fosters patience. It teaches you to wait for the right moment to reveal your accomplishments, rather than seeking immediate gratification by sharing too soon. This patience is crucial in a world that prioritizes speed and instant results. By staying silent, you allow yourself the time to grow, to learn, and to perfect your craft without the pressure of public scrutiny. There's an old saying, don't announce the move until it's made. This wisdom highlights the importance of surprise. When you share your plans too soon, you give away your advantage. People know what to expect from you, and this can diminish the impact of your success. But when you move in silence, you maintain the element of surprise. Your accomplishments become more impactful because they're unexpected. Silence is not just a strategy for achieving success, it's a mindset. It's about valuing the work over the words, the progress over the promises. It's about focusing on what truly matters, your growth, your goals, and your vision without being distracted by the need to share or explain yourself. In silence, you find clarity. When you're not constantly sharing your plans, you have the mental space to reflect on them, to refine them, and to ensure they align with your values and long-term vision. This clarity is essential for making wise decisions and staying true to your path. The power of silence lies in its ability to protect, focus, and amplify. It shields your dreams from negativity and distractions. It allows you to channel your energy into meaningful action. And it ensures that when you finally reveal your achievements, they speak louder than any words ever could. Silence is not a sign of weakness or secrecy. It's a sign of strength, discipline, and confidence in your ability to succeed without the need for applause. Actions are the most powerful language you can speak. In a world filled with empty promises and declarations, tangible results hold immeasurable weight. When you focus on doing rather than telling, you cultivate a reputation based on what you've accomplished, not what you intended to achieve. People don't remember what you said you were going to do, they remember what you did. This is the essence of letting your actions speak louder than your words. When you commit to action over talk, you enter a realm where real change happens. Words can inspire briefly, but actions create lasting impact. Imagine telling everyone, I'm going to start a business versus actually launching a successful venture. The difference is monumental. Words rely on promises while actions deliver proof. Each time you take deliberate steps toward your goals, you build a foundation of trust and respect, not just with others, but with yourself. When you act rather than talk, you avoid the trap of creating false expectations. Words can set you up for unnecessary scrutiny. For instance, if you say, I'm working on writing a book, people might ask, when is it coming out? Or how's it going? These questions can feel like pressure, especially if your progress is slower than expected. But when you let the book itself announce your achievement, when people see it published and on shelves, you've not only met their expectations, you've exceeded them. Acting instead of talking also shields your journey from unnecessary negativity. Every time you share your plans, you invite feedback, and not all of it will be constructive. Some people might question your abilities or doubt your vision, even if they mean well. These comments can sow seeds of doubt and make you second-guess yourself. But when you act quietly, the only voice that matters is your own. You're free to move at your own pace, make mistakes, and learn without the weight of external judgment. Furthermore, actions demonstrate commitment. It's easy to say you'll do something, but following through requires discipline and effort. When people see you actively pursuing your goals, they recognize your determination and work ethic. This builds credibility. Over time, you become someone whose actions speak so clearly that you don't need to explain yourself. Success becomes your language, and it's one that everyone understands. Another advantage of focusing on actions is the momentum it creates. Talking about your plans can feel like progress, but it's often a form of procrastination. Action, on the other hand, generates real momentum. Every small step you take brings you closer to your goal and builds the confidence to take the next step. This momentum is self-sustaining. It propels you forward even when the journey gets tough. Consider how this plays out in relationships and professional settings. Imagine someone who constantly talks about their goals but rarely delivers. Over time, their words lose credibility. Now picture someone who works silently and lets their results speak for them. Their actions build trust and admiration because they consistently show what they're capable of. This principle applies in every aspect of life, relationships, careers, businesses, and even personal growth. Actions also cut through the noise of today's fast-paced, attention-seeking culture. In a world where everyone is shouting for recognition, quiet consistency stands out. It's refreshing and impactful when someone achieves greatness without making a spectacle of their journey. When you act without talking, your success becomes impossible to ignore, not because you announced it, but because the results speak for themselves. Moreover, actions inspire others in ways words never can. When people see someone achieving their dreams through hard work and persistence, it creates a ripple effect. It motivates others to follow suit, not because they were told to, but because they witnessed what's possible. Actions ignite belief in those who are watching, showing them that success is attainable through effort, focus, and perseverance. Lastly, letting actions speak louder than words brings a sense of inner fulfillment. When you achieve something significant, you're not just proving your capabilities to others, you're proving them to yourself. This builds self-trust, the foundation of confidence. Every goal you accomplish quietly reinforces your belief in your own abilities. This self-assurance doesn't rely on external validation. It comes from knowing you've done the work, regardless of who noticed. In the end, actions have a lasting impact because they create tangible results. Words can inspire momentarily, but results transform lives. By prioritizing action over talk, you not only protect your dreams, but also honor them with the effort they deserve. It's not about what you say you'll do, it's about what you actually do. That's what people remember. That's what defines your legacy. One of the most powerful reasons for keeping your plans to yourself is the protection of your vision. Your goals are deeply personal and they come from within you. They are often the culmination of your desires, dreams, and values. And because they are so tied to who you are, they deserve to be protected from the noise, doubts, and judgments of the outside world. When you share your plans too early or too often, you open the door for external influences to seep in, sometimes without even realizing it. The world is full of well-meaning people who will offer their unsolicited opinions and advice. While some of this input may be valuable, much of it can distract you from your true path. Friends, family, and colleagues, even if they love you and want the best for you, might project their own fears, limitations, or biases onto your vision. They may tell you what you should do or what is realistic based on their own understanding of the world. This advice might feel helpful, but it can be limiting. Your vision is uniquely yours, and no one else has the full picture of your potential, your values, or the unique path you need to take to achieve your goals. When you expose your ideas and goals to others too soon, you risk having them colored by someone else's perspective. Their doubts, criticisms, or even their own disinterest can leave an impression on your thinking. It's easy to be swayed by someone else's limitations, especially when that person is someone you trust. But what they see as impossible or impractical may not be the case for you. Your vision is meant to challenge the status quo, and it's often the things that others think are out of reach that have the most potential for groundbreaking success. In addition to the influence of others' opinions, sharing your plans prematurely can also introduce pressure. When you tell people what you intend to do, they might expect updates, results, or progress. Moreover, sharing your vision too early can lead to a false sense of accomplishment. When you talk about what you're going to do, your mind releases dopamine, the reward hormone, as if you've already made progress. This gives you a temporary feeling of satisfaction, which can reduce the urgency to take action. Instead of channeling energy into tangible steps toward achieving your goal, you may feel as if you've already done enough just by talking about it. This illusion of progress can prevent you from taking the hard, consistent steps necessary for success. Another factor in protecting your vision is the element of surprise. Keeping your plans to yourself allows you to work in silence and unveil your success when it's fully realized. When you keep your goals private, you avoid the risk of premature judgment or premature failure. It's empowering to work quietly towards something, making adjustments along the way, and letting the results speak for themselves. There's a unique satisfaction in showing the world what you've done, rather than telling them what you're planning to do. The element of surprise adds impact and creates a stronger impression. Your success, when it's finally revealed, will be far more powerful because it's not diluted by anyone else's input. Additionally, protecting your vision means safeguarding your emotional energy. The more you share your plans, the more you open yourself up to external emotional influences. If you receive criticism or indifference, it can cause self-doubt. If you receive praise too early, it can give you a false sense of security. But when you work in silence, you don't have to worry about other people's opinions affecting your motivation. You're able to protect your emotional state and stay grounded in the purpose behind your work. This mental and emotional clarity is essential in staying focused on the bigger picture rather than being distracted by the opinions of others. It's also important to remember that not everyone around you is equipped to understand your vision. They may lack the experience, knowledge, or insight to fully grasp the magnitude of what you're trying to do. Your goals are likely different from what others have pursued, and they may not share your passion or enthusiasm. As a result, their lack of understanding can manifest in skepticism or indifference. This can be discouraging, especially when you're in the early stages of pursuing something new. By keeping your vision to yourself, you protect your enthusiasm and drive from being dampened by others' inability to see your potential. Lastly, keeping your goals private allows you to build confidence in your own decision-making. When you don't immediately seek others' advice, you are forced to trust yourself and develop a deeper sense of self-reliance. This strengthens your ability to think critically and make decisions based on your own instincts and knowledge. Over time, this self-confidence becomes an invaluable asset because it allows you to navigate challenges without constantly seeking reassurance from others. Focus and clarity are two of the most valuable resources you can possess when working toward your goals. Both are essential to achieving meaningful success, and both are significantly enhanced when you keep your plans to yourself. By not discussing your journey or intentions with others, you eliminate distractions and create an environment where your mental energy can be channeled entirely into the work at hand. When you are not constantly talking about your plans, you can remain absorbed in the task, allowing your focus to stay sharp and your vision to stay clear. When you share your goals or ideas, you risk splintering your focus. The more you discuss your ambitions, the more you invite potential distractions into your mental space. Friends, family, and even colleagues might ask you questions, offer suggestions, or provide feedback, often when you haven't yet refined your ideas. So, while some advice can be helpful, much of it can pull you in multiple directions, making it harder for you to stay focused on what truly matters to you. You might start doubting yourself, second-guessing your choices, or feeling overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information you're absorbing. This lack of focus is counterproductive as it pulls your attention away from the real work of creating and executing your vision. When you keep your goals to yourself, you prevent this fragmentation of focus. You can dive deeply into your work without feeling the need to justify or explain your choices. This deep focus is where creativity thrives, where breakthroughs occur, and where progress is made. In this focused state, you are able to see problems more clearly and solve them with greater precision without being distracted by the noise of external opinions or pressures. In addition to maintaining focus, keeping your plans private allows you to achieve a higher level of clarity. The act of working quietly without external interference provides you with the space to think critically about your goals and refine them as you go. You can develop a clearer understanding of your purpose, your motivations, and your vision without the constant need to answer to others or explain your actions. Clarity comes from within, and it emerges more fully when you're not trying to accommodate the thoughts and expectations of other people. Think about how often you might second-guess your choices when you're talking about them. When you share your plans with others, especially before you fully work them out, you might be faced with questions you haven't considered. Why are you doing that? What's your end goal? How do you plan to make it work? These well-meaning questions can cause doubt to creep in, even if you were previously confident about your direction. Sometimes it takes stepping away from these external voices to reestablish your own sense of clarity. By keeping your plans private, you can clarify your own thinking and fine-tune your approach without unnecessary pressure. In addition, the process of working quietly allows for a deeper connection to your intuition and instincts. With less external input, you rely more on your inner guidance, which often leads to clearer insights. The more you trust your intuition and avoid the noise of outside influences, the stronger and more confident you become in your decisions. Your clarity of vision sharpens, and you begin to understand exactly what you need to do and how to do it. You also become more attuned to your own needs, your motivations, and your obstacles, enabling you to navigate your path with greater ease. Another key aspect of maintaining focus and clarity is the reduction of mental clutter. Every time you speak about your plans, your brain processes those conversations, and it starts to focus on all the external opinions you've received. Even if you don't consciously remember everything that was said, your mind will work through the feedback, sometimes even changing the way you approach things or complicating simple decisions. By keeping your plans to yourself, you eliminate that clutter and free up your mental resources for what matters most, the work itself. You can think more clearly, make better decisions, and take more confident action. Staying quiet about your plans also allows you to preserve your energy. Talking about your goals can be emotionally draining. You might find yourself defending your ideas or justifying your actions. Even positive conversations can be exhausting if you're constantly explaining your vision to others. When you choose not to engage in these discussions, you reserve your emotional energy for the work that actually moves you forward. Your focus and clarity aren't disrupted by the energy that would have been spent in these conversations, and you can direct that energy to creating something tangible. By maintaining focus and clarity, you also give yourself the best possible chance for success. When you are focused, you can complete tasks with precision. When you have clarity, you know exactly what steps to take next. This combination of focus and clarity is essential for overcoming obstacles, handling setbacks, and moving forward in the face of challenges. Without the distractions of others' opinions or the weight of unnecessary conversations, you are free to stay true to your vision and your purpose. Moreover, when you finally reach the stage where you're ready to reveal your success or share your journey, your clarity will be evident to others. They will see that you weren't just talking about your plans, you were focused and driven, quietly working to turn your dreams into reality. And when you share your journey, it will resonate with others more powerfully because they will see the clarity and purpose that has guided you. Ultimately, the power of focus and clarity is that it allows you to stay on course even when the world is noisy. By keeping your plans private, you give yourself the space to cultivate a focused mindset free from distractions and interference. This is where true progress occurs, when you are working from a place of inner clarity and mental focus, pushing forward one step at a time without being pulled in too many directions. In conclusion, protecting your vision through focus and clarity allows you to stay true to your path and navigate your goals with confidence. By keeping your plans to yourself, you create a space for deep work unimpeded by the doubts and distractions of others. Focus sharpens your ability to act with precision, and clarity enables you to move forward with purpose. Together, these qualities form the foundation of success, and when combined with action, they lead you to achieve what others might have once thought impossible. One of the most significant benefits of not telling people what you do is the ability to minimize distractions. In a world filled with constant noise, whether from social media, conversations, unsolicited advice, or the opinions of others, it's easy to lose track of your goals and become distracted. When you keep your plans to yourself, you create an environment of mental clarity and focus where distractions are minimized and you can fully immerse yourself in your work. Sharing your ideas and goals with others invites both positive and negative distractions. While some people may offer support or encouragement, others may inadvertently distract you by asking questions, providing unwanted advice, or offering their own perspective on what you should be doing. Even if their intentions are good, these distractions can take your attention away from the work that truly matters. When you're constantly explaining yourself, defending your choices, or justifying your decisions, you dilute your energy and shift your focus away from execution. Moreover, the very act of talking about your plans can inadvertently create external pressure. People may ask for updates, expect progress, or inquire about timelines. This can feel motivating at first, but over time, it can build into an overwhelming sense of obligation. The more you talk, the more others expect. This pressure can lead to stress, burnout, and a sense of being pulled in too many directions. It diverts your attention away from your work and forces you to constantly check in with others for validation. By keeping your goals private, you remove the need for external validation or the worry of living up to other people's expectations. You can simply focus on doing the work without the weight of constantly managing other people's perspectives. Minimizing distractions isn't just about avoiding external influences, it's also about eliminating the distractions that arise within yourself. When you talk too much about your plans, your mind can start to become preoccupied with what others think of your goals or how they perceive your abilities. This inner distraction takes your attention away from your internal compass, your true motivations and desires. By keeping your plans to yourself, you can protect your mental energy and stay connected to your own instincts, which is vital for maintaining direction and focus. One of the most profound and often overlooked benefits of keeping your goals and ambitions to yourself is the way it strengthens your self-belief and confidence. When you constantly share your plans with others, you risk leaning too heavily on external validation for your sense of worth. People will often offer opinions, some encouraging, some critical, that can influence how you view yourself and your capabilities. By not disclosing your goals, you create an environment where you are forced to rely on your inner strength and belief in yourself. This self-reliance is critical for personal growth and eventual success. The more you share your goals, the more you open yourself up to others' judgments. Sometimes this feedback is helpful, but more often than not, it's based on their limited perspective, which may not align with your vision. For example, someone who has never ventured into entrepreneurship might not understand the risks and rewards associated with starting your own business. Similarly, people who have chosen a more traditional or predictable career path may not understand your desire to pursue a less conventional route. Their doubts, even if well-meaning, can cause you to question your own capabilities, which weakens your self-belief. You may begin to doubt whether you have the skills, knowledge, or fortitude needed to succeed. This doubt can slow your progress or even prevent you from taking the first steps. When you keep your ambitions to yourself, however, you are forced to cultivate confidence in your own abilities. You do not rely on others to validate your decisions or actions. Instead, you learn to trust yourself, your instincts, your judgment, and your unique approach to problems. This growing sense of trust in yourself is a cornerstone of self-belief. As you make decisions, work through obstacles, and achieve small milestones, you begin to prove to yourself that you are capable, reinforcing your confidence in the process. Building self-belief also involves acknowledging your own strengths and weaknesses without the interference of others. When you keep your plans private, you are free from the burden of constantly explaining yourself or seeking reassurance. You can honestly assess your own abilities, identify areas for growth, and work on them at your own pace. You're not distracted by comparing yourself to others or feeling pressured by their expectations. This independent approach to personal growth leads to a more authentic, solid foundation of self-belief. Confidence grows when you take ownership of your journey. Each small victory, whether it's making progress toward your goal, learning something new, or overcoming a challenge, adds another layer of self-assurance. When you're not sharing your progress with others, you rely on your own internal motivation to keep moving forward. This internal drive helps you push through obstacles without external affirmation. You learn to celebrate your own victories, no matter how small they seem, because they are the result of your own efforts and persistence. Each step you take reinforces your belief in your ability to achieve bigger goals. Additionally, keeping your plans to yourself fosters resilience against setbacks, which is essential for building confidence. Failure is a natural part of any journey, and setbacks will inevitably occur. However, when you're not constantly explaining yourself to others, you're able to recover from these setbacks more quickly and move on without the need for external validation. When you're not worried about others' opinions or potential criticisms, you can focus on what you need to do to get back on track. This resilience helps to fortify your self-belief as you learn that even in the face of failure, you are capable of standing up, adapting, and continuing on your path. As your self-belief grows, so too does your ability to handle criticism. When you don't tell others what you're doing, you protect yourself from unnecessary negative feedback. If criticism does come your way, it has less of an impact because your confidence is rooted in your own sense of purpose, not in the opinions of others. You're less likely to internalize negative comments or let them derail your focus. The more you trust your vision, the less external criticism affects you, allowing you to move forward with greater assurance. Furthermore, self-belief also encourages you to take calculated risks. When you trust yourself, you're more willing to step outside your comfort zone and pursue goals that may seem impossible to others. You're not paralyzed by fear of failure because you know that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. This confidence in your ability to navigate challenges increases your willingness to take on new opportunities and push past your limitations. Ultimately, keeping your ambitions to yourself enables you to tap into your own power. You learn to trust your own decisions, embrace your unique path, and celebrate your own progress. With each step, your self-belief becomes stronger and more unshakable. And when the time comes for you to reveal the fruits of your labor, your confidence will be evident, not because you've spent time seeking approval from others, but because you've built your success on a solid foundation of self-trust and resilience. When you keep your plans and ambitions to yourself, you create a mental space where creativity can flourish without the constraints of outside influence. The more you talk about what you're doing, the more you expose yourself to other people's biases, perspectives, and judgments. These external opinions can crowd your mental space and slow down your ability to think freely and creatively. You might start to tailor your ideas to fit what others expect or want to hear, instead of staying true to your own intuition and vision. By keeping your ideas private, you allow yourself to think without limitations, without fear of judgment or unsolicited advice. Innovation thrives in a space where ideas can be tested, modified, and developed without the interference of outside expectations. When you don't feel the need to explain yourself or your creative process, you're able to dive deeper into your work. You can explore different possibilities and experiment with new approaches without worrying about whether others will approve. This is essential for true innovation, as it allows you to break away from conventional thinking and develop ideas that are entirely your own. You create your own unique solutions rather than adopting someone else's ideas or compromising on your own. Furthermore, when you keep your goals to yourself, you also eliminate the distraction of over-explaining or defending your ideas. Often when you share an idea with others, they will ask questions or offer feedback sometimes before the idea is fully formed. This can lead to over-explaining, justifying, or even second-guessing yourself, which takes you away from the creative flow. By keeping your work private, you protect the purity of your ideas and give yourself the time and space to let them evolve naturally. Creative breakthroughs often happen when we allow ourselves to immerse deeply in a problem without worrying about what others might think. When you share your work too early, there's a temptation to seek approval or validation, and this can create a barrier between you and the true creative process. You might start to adjust your ideas based on what others expect or what seems popular rather than allowing your intuition and imagination to lead you. Innovation requires a kind of freedom that comes when you are not constantly seeking others' opinions, but instead are focused on the process of discovery and creation. Additionally, not sharing your plans creates a sense of psychological space that encourages deep thinking and reflection. Creativity often requires quiet moments of solitude where ideas can percolate and connect in unexpected ways. When you are constantly talking about what you're doing, you're using up valuable mental energy that could be better spent developing and refining your ideas. Creativity thrives when you allow your mind to wander, when you give it time to make connections, and when you step away from the distractions of the external world. Keeping your plans to yourself offers the space necessary for this kind of deep, uninterrupted thought. The process of innovation also involves taking risks, and risks can be daunting, especially when you're constantly explaining your ideas to others. When you're constantly seeking feedback or approval, you may find yourself adjusting your ideas to fit what is expected or acceptable to others, which can dampen your creativity. By keeping your plans to yourself, you shield yourself from these pressures and allow yourself the freedom to take risks that might feel uncomfortable at first but are necessary for growth and innovation. You can try new things, fail, and adjust without worrying about public perception. Solitude and keeping your ideas private also helps you develop a sense of ownership over your work. Creativity is often an intimate process, one that requires deep personal engagement. When you share your ideas too soon, it can feel as though you're giving pieces of your creative spirit away. By keeping your plans to yourself, you maintain ownership of your vision, your process, and your progress. This ownership reinforces your connection to the work and keeps you motivated to see it through to the end. One of the most crucial aspects of keeping your ambitions and goals to yourself is the protection it offers from premature judgment and negative energy. It's common for people to form opinions about ideas they don't fully understand or projects they haven't experienced firsthand. When you reveal your plans too early, you open yourself up to judgment from others, some of which may be based on limited knowledge, assumptions, or even skepticism. This premature criticism can significantly impact your progress and in some cases even derail your efforts. The simple fact is that not everyone will understand or support your goals, and that's perfectly okay. People bring their own biases, fears, and experiences to the table, and these can sometimes result in negative or discouraging feedback. While some might offer constructive criticism, others may offer unsolicited advice based on their own experiences, or worse, their doubts. These opinions can quickly plant seeds of doubt in your mind, causing you to second-guess your ideas or question whether you're on the right path. Early-stage ideas are often fragile, and sharing them too soon opens the door for negativity to seep in. When you keep your plans to yourself, you create a buffer between your vision and the opinions of others. This shield prevents negativity from affecting your sense of purpose and your confidence in your ideas. It allows you to work on your vision without worrying about how others perceive it or whether they approve. During the early stages of any project, it's easy to be excited and passionate about your ideas, but sharing them prematurely can cause that excitement to diminish when others offer unsolicited feedback. Keeping your goals private allows you to nurture your ideas and let them grow naturally without being influenced by external doubt. Negative energy can come in many forms. Sometimes it's subtle small comments or dismissive remarks that may seem harmless at first but slowly chip away at your confidence. Other times it can be more overt, direct criticism or an attempt to dissuade you from your chosen path. Either way, negative energy can create doubt, which can lead to procrastination, fear, or even abandoning your goals altogether. You may start to believe the negative things people say about your ideas, and this can paralyze you. By avoiding early discussions about your plans, you minimize the exposure to this kind of energy, which is essential for maintaining mental clarity and focus.